Namaste everyone. Today I'm going to do a video about how the ego is shaped based on the astrology cycle of the karma, the wheel of karma. Okay, and as I mentioned in the other video before on reincarnation, that your ego is shaped during every lifetime, okay, depending on your blueprint of where you left off in the other life. Okay, there is a certain chronicle order, okay, with age, and as you age you gain a new aspect of the ego, okay, that makes the ego a whole. And a lot of us don't get there. A lot of us die before that, but some of us are lucky to grow old, okay, and it's a Uranus cycle. It's a complete Uranus cycle. It's 84 years for now, and I'm speaking of the current life now, okay, how much people are able to live. And I already mentioned in the other video, people were able to live 1,000 years or more before, okay? And maybe that's about, I don't know, 1,000 cycles of Uranus. But now we're just living in one cycle of Uranus. So every 7 years we develop, an aspect of the ego. So let's get to it. The first 7 years that we are living in this planet, okay, as we are now, the constellation that corresponds to that development is Aries. Okay, you're developing the ego. Okay, so you are a baby, and you're born, and you're just realizing that you are human. Okay, you have 10 fingers, 10 toes, 2 legs, 2 arms. You're just realizing that in the crib. And when your parents try to feed you, you just take it in. But another thing happens. One day you're going to negate the food. You're going to realize that you are able to negate the food. Say, no, I'm full, or no, I don't like it. And that is that's an indication that the ego is being formed. Okay, you're realizing that you are able to make a choice. And this is from when you're born to age 7. Okay, anything that surrounds a child at that age is very crucial, because it's going to shape the identity of that child. Okay, how they identify with themselves, the development of the ego. So back in the ancient time, I heard that people, that were really into the occult, they will get the child and keep it with the mother. Okay, so those 7 years, that child was only interacting with the mother, and the mother was only shaping the ego of the child. Okay, so that way there won't be any interference with it. Okay, and then after those 7 years, they were let out of the cave. And then they were not conditioned by the world. They were just conditioned by what the parents taught them, okay, by what the mother taught them. So if you look at your life when you were a kid, you really don't have any likes or dislikes. You start to develop them, okay? And sometimes the energy from previous life could be seen in a child, okay? And there's a good exercise that you could do with it with a kid. Like if you get them for Halloween and you say, what do you want to be for Halloween? Okay? And they pick a costume, that'll tell you right there, that'll give you a clue of, where they're heading to in this life, where's their north node, okay? And for me, my mom asked me, what do you want to be for Halloween, when I was like 4 years old, and I was like, I want to be a witch. And, she got me the costume, and I was very happy being a witch, okay? That right there tells you, okay, what that child, since they're so innocent, what really is their desire without being conditioned, okay, without being conditioned. And don't get me wrong, a lot of kids are being conditioned by TV, because they're seeing TV at age 7. And I remember I did watch Bewitched when I was a kid, so maybe that helped. But if you look at my north node, it's in the 8th house. So another thing is that any kid could be anything. There's a lot of role models, okay? For me to choose that archetype, that'll just tell you, what my soul evolution was for this life. Now the second part of the developing of the individual, the ego, is Taurus. It's the next sign, set in the next 7 years, which is age 7 till age 14. You're developing your physical, you're hitting puberty, and yeah, this is an awkward time, because you're just getting familiar with your body. Okay, those first 7 years that you were born, you were just getting familiar with who you were, your identity. Okay, you were forming a personality. Okay, but now in these 7 years, from 7 to 14, now you're forming a body of an adult. Okay, now you have to intertwine the ego that you built for those 7 years, but now attach it to the body. So now you're just getting attached more to your body, and you're going through this awkward stage of development. Okay, now age 14 till age 21, you're developing Gemini. Okay, you're developing how to make choices, and Gemini has to do with the mind. Okay, with intellect, with intelligence. Okay, and also community, friends. Think of the time where peer pressure is the most is during 14 to 21. Okay, you're pretty much being influenced by your surroundings and your friends the most. All right, what people think. Okay, so that's pretty much shaping your ego too. Okay, it's shaping your ego of how do you think? What do you think? Okay. So the first one was fire, was the development of the ego. The second one was earth, developing of the physical body. And the third one, which is Gemini, is developing the mind. All right? And where you're going in life. What college are you going to? Okay? You're thinking now. Okay? What am I going to do for the rest of my life? And it's a very confusing time because Gemini is a very polarized sign. It has it's the two pillars. Okay? You have pillar of severity and pillar of mercy. So that's a very trying time. It's a very difficult time for us. Okay? Now, age 21 to age 28. All right? That's the age of Cancer. All right? Those 7 years pertain to emotions, our emotional development. Okay? The most predominant theme is establishing relationships. Intimate relationships. Now, I know that during the time of Gemini, we might have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, but it's not the main thing. It's not the main thing that shapes the ego. Okay? 21 and 28, we start taking relationships a little bit more serious. Okay? Or spouses. Okay? And it's a great time to get married, to form a relationship, to have kids, have children. Okay? For women. And form a family, a foundation. Okay? A fortress of protection, because your family is your protection. Okay? In your chart. It's what protects you. If you have a problem, guess what? It's your family is going to be there for you. Not your friends, your family. So 21 to 28 is when you form that foundation. All right? And then you hit your Saturn return on age 28. Okay? But that's another story. I'll have to do another video for that. Now, then from age 28 to age 35, you're in the Leo cycle. And I'm in the Leo cycle right now. And the Leo cycle means taking control, peaking. Leo is that peak in summer. Okay? Taking control of your life. Now you're going to shine to the world. Everything that you've learned in the first 4 semesters, now you're going to show the world. And I guess this is me right now. I'm showing everybody, what I've learned. It's the Leo. It's the, flashy side of the ego, the creative side of the ego. Okay, from age 28 to age 35. Okay, you will see a lot of people starting a business at this age. Okay, taking control of something. Now, from age 35 to age 41 or 42, you have the Virgo cycle. And the Virgo cycle has to do with not being too egotistical no more, like not being too showy. It has to be with toning it down, okay? Getting all details down for the middle age, all right? It's more of a low-key and helping others, okay? Tending to little details that will weave out the rest of the other, cycles, all right? And it'll also pertain to taking care of your health now, because now you're getting older. Okay, so now you want to preserve everything you have during the first half of this Uranus cycle. You want to preserve it now, so you want to start taking care of your skin. You want to start eating right. Okay, you want to start developing a new sleep cycle. You can't be up all night anymore. Okay, you got to start sleeping at a certain time. All right, to rest your inner organs, so it won't show up with your eyes, your under eyes, being exposed, because your adrenaline is being hacked. So you have to now consider forming new health habits, eating different foods now. Okay, so I'm gonna make another video called the Uranus opposition, which happens in age 42. All right, and then I'm gonna start talking about the other cycles that come after that. Namaste.